Hey guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you guys on some more current latest news. I think now, as it has suggested out, the current France international Nabil Fekir from Lyon reportedly Arsenal reportedly now are closing in on agreeing a 60 million deal in January for Nabil Fekir from Lyon, reportedly, because that's been another Arsenal target as well. And reportedly Arsenal are willing to pay a club record fee of £60 million to get the player. And we also know Arsenal have got the pursuit of Lacazette, another Lyon player, well, an ex-Lyon player. Arsenal got the pursuit of Lacazette back in the August window, and that cost Arsenal £52 million. So could Nabil Fekir reunite with Lacazette, after they were fantastic, together at Lyon, both the current players, but as well. But this is in a couple of media outlets, because obviously now Arsenal, reportedly now you could say they have potentially found the replacements for Ozil and Sanchez, because reportedly now to fund this £60 million basically, they have to basically offload Sanchez for around 30 million in January, plus offload Ozil for 30 million in January as well. And they've demanded this, Arsenal, that it did say in the press the other day, that they are willing to offload Ozil for 30 million pound in January, also willing to offload Sanchez for about 20-30 million pound in January, so they can cash that in, generate the money for them two players, and get the pursuit of Nabil Fekir from Lyon as well. But reportedly the press is saying Arsenal have reportedly in it are close to securing a £60 million deal for the player as well. This season is in very, very impressive form indeed. He's already scored 12 goals this season. I think he's been at Lyon quite a long time, because we know he's risen up the youth system fantastically well as the player. This is 5th season now in the process with the first team and the senior squad is the current players as well, and he's in fantastic form. And to clarify, he's got fantastic potential. He's creative, he's agile, he can play attacking mid, he can play as a striker as well. Can Nabil Fekir, can the current player. He's back on his form again now, because we know during the 2015-16 season the player had missed the majority of his season due to injury as well, the current player. But we know the player got promoted into the Lyon senior squad in 2013, because he risen up the ranks with the Lyon youth system, as we all know. But he got promoted into the senior team in 2013 as well. He made his international debut in 2015, but he became a regular for Lyon in their first team in his current second season with the club as well. But with the player, basically, he's currently the captain of Lyon as well. He currently made his first team debut in August 2013, scored his first competitive goal in April 2014 as well, did the player. And in his first season with the club in 2013-14, he made 17 appearances in all competitions, did the player. And then the season after, his second season, he became more of a regular, in the first team. He ended that season, the 2014-15 season, with 13 goals and 9 assists, and he's good at creating. His link-up play is good. He can score goals. He can also provide assists as well. And then during the 2015-16, he had been injured, as we all know, so he'd missed the majority of that season. But he's gone back to his form now, because last season as well, he scored 10 goals, I think, last season, and got quite a lot of assists as well. So that will dramatically improve Arsenal as well. I think he can play in the number 10 role as well. But reportedly, the press are reporting that I think he's captain Lyon now is the current player, but obviously Lacazette and him used to play with each other, so could they reunite in the Arsenal squad? So Arsenal are reportedly prepared to put £60 million in, but Arsenal are prepared to cash in for Sanchez and Ozil, 30 million each. That will equal 60 million, and then they sell them Ozil and Sanchez, get the 60 million, then use that money they've generated from Ozil and Sanchez for the departures, and put it on Nabil Fekir as well. And it will be a club record fee as well in the current process, because Arsenal have had quite a few targets on their radar, as we all know. We know Thomas Lemar's been one. It did say before, that Arsene Wenger is not ruling out a move for Thomas Lemar in January. It did say the Monaco president did confirm he is likely to leave Monaco next summer as well, is the current player. He made 32 appearances, Monaco just paid over £3 million for him. I think this is his third season now in the process with Monaco as the current players, as we all know. and he made his international debut in 2016, as I said. But Arsenal had 2 bids rejected for him in August. Liverpool also coming at the final hurdle and had 2 bids rejected for him as well. And Arsenal put a nice £2 million bid in, but it didn't materialise. So they were willing to pay a record fee for Thomas Lemar as well. But he's another fantastic young age prospect, and he'd be a good replacement in Arsenal's eyes for Sanchez and that. But what I've read about this Nabil Fekir, he does look a very, very fantastic player. Of what I've read of some of his stats, he's already got 12 goals this season. His goal scoring form's improving, so he will dramatically improve Arsenal. But as I was saying, Thomas Lemar, Arsenal have still not ruled a move out for him as well, because it reportedly they were still scouting him the other week, Thomas Lemar. As I said, and Monaco were reluctant and were resisted to offload him in August due to the amount of money that Monaco received, for the departure of their players. And so Arsenal basically, are looking to sell Ozil and Sanchez in January. And also Jack Wilshere is another player that's coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club as well. But saying about Ozil, he's been linked with a move to Manchester United, as we all know, because it reported in the press the other day. It said in the press that he was demanding Jack Wilshere's number 10 shirt, basically, if he is to ever have any chance of signing a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. But reportedly it did say Arsenal are willing to now offload Ozil for 30 million in January, because obviously it's a free transfer next summer. Arsenal would rather cash in for him rather than let him go on a free next summer, Ozil. But he still did say Ozil is still 100% focused on Arsenal. As I said, he can create chances, he can provide assists. I'd love him at Manchester United, as I said, in the current process. But this is his 5th season now in the process with Arsenal's. This is his 5th season now in the process with Arsenal. I think, he's completed 4 seasons as Mesut Ozil, because Arsenal paid £42.5 million for him from Real Madrid, highest paid fee for a German player, and Arsenal's second most expensive signing as well. And he's a very, very good, fantastic playmaker. And Jose Mourinho classifies him as a fantastic number 10. But in the process, the contract talks have stalled, as it confirmed quite a while back now that Arsenal have been struggling to secure him a new deal. Mesut Ozil. He's also been demanding a wage increase. Also, Sanchez has been demanding a wage increase as well in the current process, we all know. But Jose Mourinho, was fantastic with Ozil at Real Madrid, and Jose Mourinho, is still looking to reinvest, because obviously the board are telling Mourinho now he has to sell before he can buy. And I think Mesut Ozil will be fantastic, as I said, and Mourinho's looking to reunite him because they were fantastic together at Real Madrid. Ozil's highly experienced. He's made over 100 appearances now for Arsenal. He's another player that's good at providing assists, as well as Nabil Fekir as well. But he was also in Bundesliga for 5 years as well, was Mesut Ozil, as we know, in the current process. So could he still potentially make a move to Man United? Man United willing to pay £30 million for him in January, because he does become a free transfer next summer. But as I said, Arsenal would rather cash in rather than let him go on a free next summer. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal, as I said, as Mesut Ozil, basically just like Alexis Sanchez, because obviously this Nabil Fekir now may be fantastic news for Arsenal, because as I've just said, the press are reporting that Arsenal are closing in on securing Nabil Fekir in January for a fee of £60 million. That is the fee that has been mentioned in the press. It is £60 million, and if this was to go through, it would be a club record fee for Arsenal as well. So basically, they did generate quite a bit of money, for the departure of the players in August as well, Arsenal, because obviously they let Chamberlain go to Liverpool. I think they sold a couple of other players as well, if I can remember rightly, but I can't remember who it was. But they're identifying this Nabil Fekir because he's an attacking mid. He can also play in the front line as well. And, I think, he'd look fantastic in Arsenal's squad. I think Nabil Fekir look fantastic in the front line with Lacazette in Arsenal's squad, because he can play as attacking mid and he can play in the front line as well, as I've just said. So he'll dramatically improve Arsenal's squad, but obviously they're identifying him as a replacement for Ozil and Sanchez as well. They've had quite a few players on their agenda of Arsenal Football Club as well. And it's looking like definitely Alexis Sanchez is going to go, as we all know, in the process. He's another player that's refusing to sign a new deal. He's been reportedly demanding a higher wage as well as Alexis Sanchez, because we know a lot of teams. We know a lot of teams have been interested in and have been monitoring Alexis Sanchez in the current process. A lot of teams, Paris Saint-Germain been monitoring him. Manchester City, Real Madrid, Manchester United, AC Milan. It did say the other week in the press that Everton had reportedly been interested in him as well. It said Everton were paying to put £30 million in for him. But obviously Sanchez was demanding him on his Champions League football, and Everton ain't going to get this. He ain't going to win silverware if he was to go to Everton as well. But he did say PSG are willing to pay £30 million for him in January as well, because PSG obviously invested a lot of money in the August window. And even though they've done this, they're still interested in quite a few players. Paris Saint-Germain, and Sanchez is one of them as well. But as I said, I still think he'll go to Manchester City. As I said, Alexis Sanchez likely he's going to go in January, because Arsenal will be demanding that they want £20-30 million, same as the Mesut Ozil situation. But as I said, City still may wait until next summer when Sanchez becomes a free transfer, if he sees out his deal with Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez in the current process. But as I said, if Arsenal get this Nabil Fekir, they will allow both players basically to leave. They can cash this 60 million in and then use that 60 million to get Nabil Fekir. I don't know if I've pronounced his name correctly, but he's a very, very good player. But I still think Sanchez will go to City because he wants Champions League football. City have got it. He's playing amongst better players at City. He'll be winning silverware with City. Arsenal, he's not going to be doing this, as I said, and he was fantastic with Pep Guardiola at Barcelona. As I said, Arsenal paid £35 million for him from Barcelona, and this is his fourth season of pro. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal, as I said, and I'd like Alex Sanchez at my club, Manchester United. I would like it because his versatility is good. He can play attacking mid, he can play on the flanks, he can lead the lines, fantastically well, as we all know, can Alexis Sanchez. But we know he made his decision. He made his decision in August. Did Alexis Sanchez? As I said, he made his decision that he didn't want to be at Arsenal Football Club, and he was disappointed that he didn't make the move to City on the deadline day, as we all know. Because as I keep saying, Arsenal could have cashed £50-60 million in, because this is what City were prepared to give Arsenal at the time. But obviously, Arsenal couldn't find that replacement, so Sanchez stayed. But there were talks about Sterling as part of the deal. If they'd have let Sterling go as part of the deal for Sanchez, then Sterling would have gone to Arsenal. Sanchez would have gone to City. But City were not willing to offload Sterling. They were just keen on a cash-only deal as well. But City still may pay £20-30 million for him in January, or may wait until next summer to get him on a free transfer. But there's still other teams in the hunt for Alexis Sanchez that could get him in January if City don't want to get him in January. They'll have to wait until free next summer. But there's other teams in the hunt for Sanchez, as I said. But he's been under knees, he's won honours, like River Plate on his loan deal. Who else? River Plate on his loan deal. Cola, the current player as well. Barcelona won honours there, scored 21 goals in his last season with Barcelona as well. Did very, very well in his, I think it was like three years or so with Barcelona. He did fantastically well as well. And he's done well with Arsenal, he's definitely made over 100 odd appearances now for the Arsenal Football Club as Alexis Sanchez. But as I said, if they can get this Nabil Fekir, Arsenal, they will to get rid of Ozil and Sanchez in the current process. But I'd like Ozil at Man U. He's a very, very good player indeed. A current World Cup winner as well. I'd like him at Manchester United. But obviously, Arsenal have had quite a few players on the agenda. As I mentioned, Thomas Lemar. Now this Nabil Fekir, looking like they're going to get a deal over the line according to reports. There's also been Julian Draxler made, because he's also been on Arsenal's radar as a replacement for Alexis Sanchez. And that Julian Draxler did say, he did say Sanchez could play a key figure, because maybe, if Sanchez was to go to Paris Saint-Germain, then maybe PSG, may then give Arsenal Draxler in return for Sanchez as well in the current process. This is what I'm saying in the situation, guys. Yeah, that could happen. But Julian Draxler's a very, very good player indeed, as I said. He's surpassed 2 requirements now at Paris Saint-Germain, as I said, because he's only been at Paris Saint-Germain since January, because Paris Saint-Germain had purchased him from Wolfsburg for £42 million in January. We know he was very, very good in the Confederations Cup, as I said, was Julian Draxler. He was captain and he was the best player in the Confederations Cup. Also was played in 2014 FIFA World Cup as well for Germany. Well, was in the squad when they won the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Wait there, I'm just going to charge this. And he reached semi-finals of the Euro 2016 as well, Julian Draxler as well. And I think last season he scored about, was it 10 goals, 2 assists in 25 games in all competitions last season for Draxler. But he's made a big impact since he has been at Paris Saint-Germain as a current player, because he's good with both feet, his vision's good, his movement's good, he's an efficient finisher. And, you know, he risen up the ranks fantastically well with Schalke. And with Schalke, I think he did fantastically well. Made 171 appearances there, scored 30 goals for Schalke, as we all know, did Draxler. But obviously, you know, consider the amount of money PSG invested on, you know, likes of Mbappe and Neymar, and, you know, and they've got Vardy in there as well. It's going to be hard for him to get first team football week in, week out. But obviously, PSG have only had Draxler since January. But if Sanchez was actually to go to Paris Saint-Germain instead of City or whatever, then maybe Arsenal could have a possibly chance of getting Julian Draxler as well in the current process. But according to the reports, as it's suggesting out now, this is the main part of the video, Arsenal reportedly agreed, well, they're close to securing the deal for Nabil Fekir from Lyon, and the fee is reported to be £60 million that Arsenal are preparing to pay for the current player's services as well. So it's looking like Nabil Fekir could reunite with Lacazette as well in the current process. So this is very, very good news for Arsenal fans. You know, if you've been reading the media, what it's said about this player, but he's got great potential. His passing ability is good. He's creative. He's offensive. His movement's good. His vision's good. His overall game is fantastically good. He's a good, fantastic goal scorer, as it's proven this season. He's hitting form, 10 goals last season. He's good at scoring. He can provide assists as well. But yeah, during the 16 season as well for the player, you know, he missed the majority of the season, as we all know, due to injury, did the player as well. And 2014-15, he did very, very well. That's the season where he become more of a regular in Lyon's first team. As I said, he become more of a regular, you know. In that season, he ended up that season with 13 goals and 9 assists, so quite a lot of goals there and assists again. And then in that season, and then, you know, in his first season in the senior team in 2013-14, you know, he made 17 appearances in all competitions in that season as well, because he got promoted into Lyon's senior squad in 2013. He's very good for France as well, because he made his international debut in 2015, and he risen up the ranks with Lyon as well, did the current player in the current process. So looks like Arsenal can secure a deal over the line for him as well. It's going to update you now on a bit more transfer rumours, as I updated you yesterday on my video was about Luke Shaw as well, the current Manchester United left back, because basically the board now are suggesting to Jose Mourinho, basically, you know, he has to sell before he can buy, because we know Mourinho spent 300 million now in 3 transfer windows. We know this is Jose Mourinho's second season in the process at Manchester United, as we all know. Basically saying we have to sell now before we can buy in the current process. And we know Luke Shaw has been mentioned quite a few times. We know that he did say Luke Shaw fears his career could be over now after a breakdown in relationship with Jose Mourinho, after a fallout with Jose Mourinho as well, Luke Shaw. And he did report yesterday that another team has entered the race. It did mention Fenerbahce had reportedly been interested in Luke Shaw. This is what it said in the press. And it did say Fenerbahce were willing to offer Luke Shaw an escape route in the current process, you know, to end his misery at Manchester United, because Luke Shaw has had a difficult time, you know, since he's come to Man United, since we purchased him for £29 million from Southampton back in 2014. This is his 4th season now in the process with Man United. Is Luke Shaw's. He made his England senior debut in 2014 as well. Did Luke Shaw, and he risen up the ranks fantastically well with Southampton, and these reports actually coming out. There's been quite a few teams interested in Luke Shaw, and he did say the other day in the press that Man United are willing to offload him in January for £20 million. Obviously, because we know he's falling down the pecking order now under Mourinho, he's probably 5th choice left back now under Jose Mourinho as well. And Jose Mourinho had given him a lot of criticism last season, especially Luke Shaw as well in the current process. But yeah, it looks like his career officially could be over Man U. We know he's still under contract with Man United until 2019, is Luke Shaw. He's only played 32 games as well, 32 appearances since he's been at Manchester United as well. So he has had a difficult time. So if we can cash £20 million in for him, you know, for a player that's, you know, known for injuries, especially because he hasn't played in the Premier League this season, just recovered. He had a long-term injury, didn't he, as well, Luke Shaw. And, you know, he hasn't played in the Premier League this season. He's only played in the Carabao Cup twice, as we all know. And there were rumours saying he could go back to Southampton as well, but he did say Southampton, you know, may have to offload Ryan Bertrand if he's Luke Shaw's potentially, could go back to Southampton, where he's up the ranks on League well. But we will see what happens, and we've heard the rumours about Marian Fellaini as well, looking like he's going to go as well, because that reported in the press yesterday, as he updated you, that Man United have come to an agreement with Besiktas. Fellaini's agents, I think, have been discussions with Besiktas and all that over this, and it did say Man United have reportedly agreed to sell Fellaini for £8 million in January, because obviously Fellaini, we know Jose Mourinho is a big admirer of the player, and he wouldn't want to see Marian Fellaini go Jose Mourinho in the current process. But reportedly we've agreed to sell him for £8 million in January. We paid just over £27 million for him in 2013 from Everton. So this is 5th season of the process. We know now he's made over 2 century appearances now in the Premier League all in all, as just in the Premier League as a Marian Fellaini as well. But obviously he's been mainly a flop, since we've purchased him. I think this is the best season, this season he's had in a Manchester United shirt, Marian Fellaini. Before he got injured, he was an absolutely massive impact, and he was very, very good in that midfield, was Marian Fellaini in the current process. But as I said, Jose Mourinho blocked his move to Galatasaray in August as well. Galatasaray reportedly being interested in him as well. But in the process, Man United could lose him on a free transfer next summer. So in our perspective, if we can't secure him a new deal, then obviously cash in for him rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer, Marian Fellaini in the current process. So yeah, he's another one that could go. So we could cash in £28 million, for that. We've identified Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, as I said, as a potential possible replacement for Marian Fellaini as well. But we'll see what happens about that. And then you've got as I said, as I mentioned to you guys, about Ander Herrera, in the current process. Ander Herrera, as a rookie up there, and you did report in the media the other day that reportedly, Atletico Madrid have been monitoring the player. He's also been on Barcelona's agenda as a... He's also been on Barcelona's agenda as Ander Herrera as well. We know Man United, I think Jose Mourinho is keen on keeping the player. He's another player, he's coming to an end of his contract as well. But Man United, in the process, I think Man United have been trying to secure him a new deal. But it did say, if we don't secure Ander Herrera a new deal, we have the option to put a 1-year extension, meaning on his current contract, which will take him under contract with Manchester United until 2019 as well, Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera in the Premier League alone, he's nearly made 100 appearances now for Manchester United, as we all know, in the current process. But reportedly Atletico Madrid are eyeing out a move for him. Obviously, we know early on this season, Jose Mourinho, was going with Matic and Paul Pogba, in the midfield, because they were complementing each other fantastically well. And we know now, definitely, Herrera's not first choice in that midfield, as we all know. Well, you may be frustrated with a lack of game time, you may be receiving Herrera, but obviously he's been playing recently, due to the absences of Pogba and Fellaini, who just recovered from long-term injury, injury as well. But Pogba, I think, is expected to return for the Newcastle game, and I heard a few rumours about that as well. He's been out for way over a month now as Pogba, but Herrera has struggled this season, let's be honest. I said he does better in a 3-man midfield than he does in a 2. I think he struggles in a midfield too. I think he does better in a midfield 3, when he's supported by the other 2 midfielders as well, especially Herrera. But he has struggled this season, let's be honest. He was absolutely phenomenal last season, one club's player of the year last season. Made his international debut in 2016, did Ander Herrera as well, and he's won tournaments to Spain for the under-20 and under-21 level as well as Ander Herrera. But reportedly, as I said, Man United could also possibly lose him as well. But reportedly, Mourinho has blocked Herrera making a move to Atletico Madrid in the current process, because Man United could still lose him as well in the current process. But saying about Luke Shaw, who could be a good potential replacement, as I said, I still think, Jose Mourinho's looked at a few fullbacks. Diaz has been mentioned. I don't really know who he is, but he did say he would dream of a move to Man United, this Diaz. He did say dream of a move to Man United. He did confirm our interest as well. We've heard the likes of, Danny Rose. He could be the favourite to replace Luke Shaw. Jose Mourinho was interested in Sessegnon in August. Also, Jordi Alba's been mentioned as a replacement for Luke Shaw as well. But I think Danny Rose is a favourite to probably go on and replace Luke Shaw, if I'm going to be quite honest, because Jose Mourinho's got quite a few targets on his agenda. I think maybe Danny Rose is possible, because he did say Danny Rose was willing to turn Chelsea down, to make a move to Old Trafford. This is what he did mention, Danny Rose. He was willing to turn Chelsea down to make a move to Old Trafford. As I said, he's been at Tottenham 10 years. He started his career with Leeds, so he has. So he started his career with Leeds. He's under contract now with Tottenham until 2021 as well. And we know he's been injured for quite a long time as well, Danny Rose in the current process. And but he has won the PFA. He did criticise Tottenham for lack of investment in the window. Obviously, he criticised them for lack of investment. Obviously, he wasn't satisfied with the wages he was receiving either, and this is what he explained, the report he gave. But he had made an apology at Danny Rose. But basically, he's been at Tottenham 10 years. He's been at quite a few teams on loan as well. But I think he'd be a suitable replacement for Luke Shaw as well. So Mourinho could actually, go for him in January as well in the current process. So, we will see what happens. But he's got quite a few players on his agenda, like Danny Rose, Ryan Sessegnon, very, very good. He's been interested in him, but also Tottenham have been interested in Sessegnon. We know Kieran Turner's another player, that's been mentioned in the press that Man United could maybe go for. But Tottenham have reportedly been interested in Kieran Turner as well. But we'll see what happens about that as well. But the main part of this video is about Nabil Fekir. Reportedly now Arsenal closing on the deal of securing Nabil Fekir for £60 million in January for a replacement for Ozil and Sanchez. That look likely they are going to leave Arsenal in the current process. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below, and if you do consider subscribing, as always, take these guys, and I'll see you all later. Bye.